Hi, I'm Gene, and welcome to Assess Minutes, where we take a complex assessment topic and break it down to make it easily understandable, because minutes matter. So, generally speaking, there are three broad categories into which basically every educational assessment falls, and we see them reflected here. Summative assessments, such as high-stakes tests or other high accountability purpose types of things. On the other end of the continuum, we have formative assessments that occur typically at the classroom level, and in the middle, we have this newest named category, interim assessments. In attempting to contrast these three types, it's often to think of the following three factors. First of all, what is the primary reason for that type of assessment? When does it occur? What is its place in time? And finally, who are the primary users? Let's begin with summative assessments. In terms of their primary purpose, the primary purpose there is program evaluation and high-stakes types of accountability. As a result, their place in time typically occurs at the end of the learning process, and their primary users are state, district, and federal educational leaders who are looking at these high-stakes pieces of data to determine how effective schools are being. On the other end of the continuum, we have the formative assessments. Their primary reason in that case is to provide information which is very closely linked to the fact that they occur while learning is happening. In fact, some researchers prefer to talk about formative assessment not even as a type of a particular assessment, but as a process that occurs all the time, using the phrases sometimes of day by day and minute by minute. The primary users of formative assessments are teachers and students. And one researcher in the field, Rick Stiggins, says we need to remember the student perspective in formative assessment because sometimes students are the most important users of assessment information in the classroom. So let's go back to the middle, the interim assessments. They have some of the qualities of both because they provide some of the normative data that we might see from a summative test. But unlike the summative tests, they occur throughout the year, producing information that schools can use to adapt their processes to improve. Typically speaking, most students see these assessments 3 times a year, fall, winter, and spring, though those students who are placed into interventions may see them more often for progress monitoring purposes. And the primary users at the interim level are basically all of the educators at the building level. Teachers and principals working together to use this data to monitor and improve their practice and make sure that students are doing well. The key word about all of this is balance. It's important that we have all three types of assessment, but it's also important that they remain in balance, that no particular category dominates over the others.